So recently I've had this train of thought, and basically it leads down the road of people don't think, they just rehearse. Or at least they don't think as much now, right? Because first off, it's getting ready for the thing, then it's getting to the thing, then once you're there, getting the thing done, and then off to whatever side quests, right? And you could argue that how the job economy has changed, it's a little bit different than that. How I got to this train of thought was I just got on the subject of planes. I was thinking like, wow, it's just so interesting how this giant beast is just able to fly in the air, right? Of course it has like engines and wings, stuff to help it stay in the air or off the ground rather. And then I realized at some point someone thought about making this, put it into blueprints, right? So the future people can hold on to it, know how to make it, and can learn from this, right? In some ways that is true. Just think about our society now. Like you really don't have to think. Like you really just have to. I mean, even for me making this video, I did the exact same thing. I found something that I wanted to talk about, and I just kind of like wanted it to make it into something that seemed eligible, I guess. I don't know. I just wanted to get my words out there. I rehearsed for this. I mean, in a way. But in some way, I thought about it. I thought about it. I thought about rehearsing it, right? Most people think, don't think they rehearse. And in this, you can think about occupations or hobbies that people can just fill their time with. Like, see Skyrim right here. I played a little bit of it. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna load back. I'm rehearsing to get something that may or may not be there. And I really don't have to think. I can strategize. I don't necessarily have to think too hard. At a certain point in the game, if you just get the good stuff, get what you need, you just kind of okay. Here's my one thing that I do to open up the game, open up the fight. Here's the thing that I do in the middle. Then at the end, wrap it all up, get what you need, throw away what you don't, and basically the cycle will repeat itself. And that's why eventually everything eventually becomes like this muscle memory. That is a strong component of the human mind. You have something that feels instinctual to you after you do it for so long. And it's not to say that thinking is good or bad or rehearsing is good or bad. It's simply at first you think about something and then you have to rehearse it. When you get things done for the first time, you may feel maybe you got it right, maybe you got it wrong. You may feel a sense of relief of it being over. You may feel a sense of accomplishment. You may feel like, wow, I just blew everything out of the water, like, but not in a good way, right? Like it was a blowout, like diaper blowout kind of move, right? And some things you just cannot recover from, but obviously when you put the time into it, you think about just simply rehearsing it, you get in this state where your mind understands that what you're doing is a part of your life and your body will become accustomed to that. I mean, it's the whole point of why we have muscle memory to begin with. Because honestly, think about it. If we were unable to retain a type of muscle memory, or the task that we were doing was not infinite, like it was only one thing that you probably could never do again, and even then, a grand task or impossible task becomes possible when you simply rehearse it enough. If you ever look at speed running, they are they are looking at every single factor of this entire game. What can get me from point A to point B the quickest, right? And obviously there are some rules and lines that they'll have to follow, right? There's sometimes there's 100%, um, or maybe there's 100% no glitches, right? When I was young, it was very fun to witness these, like to just witness something pay off so well because this person cuts all the competition like he got it in 30 minutes. Each time he tries, he's getting better and better. She's getting better and better. And to be able to see that all pay off in one moment almost feels as if like the rest of humanity is getting spoiled, right? Because then they have this kind of insight that obviously took someone hours, days, years to even cut their time down to a very minimal amount, something some regular casual player who could they could never see themselves doing, and that is exciting. And that goes with everything that is in life. We see if you were born in the year 2000, if you hey, if you're listening to this video right now, you were born this year. But if you see everything that's going on right now, we just kind of had a shortcut. We get to see the accomplishments of all these thinkers and the thinkers that have rehearsed it, or even the airfield brain that just are doing the grunt work. That eventually they have this. They're this cog in the machine that you just cannot get rid of, because now it's like they understand the process so well. They've rehearsed it so many times. They could do this blindfolded, right? And I mean, there's genuinely people that have speedrun games blindfolded or done bosses blindfolded. Whether if it's true or not, regardless of the fact, the concept of that is very impressive, right? There was this League of Legends video that I saw some time ago that I can't remember the channel right now, but it was this video about the character in the game called Lee Sin, and they're technically blind within the game. And so this person knew this character very well, knew how to use them, I guess knew exactly their precise movements of how to move around the map. I mean, I hope that's true, because I mean, that's honestly insanely impressive. To be able to put a blindfold on and just be so precise in your movements. And this kind of puts those kind of people in a certain position where it's obvious that if they perform an action good enough and become efficient at these actions, then obviously they cannot be replaced. Hence stretching the truth a bit on their applications, right? And we see that, and we think about some people that have done that, and there will be people that just fell at life, and it's rather unfortunate. But the people that have this call to action, where maybe they feel entitled to it, but maybe that's their power. Maybe they're willing themselves so well that they fake it to make it. And maybe using that power to just step forward. Maybe fake it to make it isn't a state of life. It's simply just one step into the other. There's this channel recently that I've been looking at, listening to. His name is Jet Frenzen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He essentially released a video saying how you want to be LARPing. Like if someone is calling you out for LARPing, it's not a bad thing. You want to be able to LARP, because then that puts you in that headspace. It puts you in that area where you can be confident. If you keep, quote unquote, fake it to make it, then you're just taking the next step to be able to do what you want to do. And if you get called out for faking it, there's two options. You quit or you get better. And if you've already taken it that far to be able to fake it, then what's stopping you once you get revealed as a so-called imposter? But anyway, I'd just like to say that rehearsing is important. Thinking is important. LARPing, I used to think it wasn't the best thing. I used to think being an imposter was bad. But ultimately that just helped my mindset push me to what I wanted to achieve. And I've used that exact same mindset going forward with finally uploading videos talking out what I have on my scripts, on my sticky notes, or just whatever may come to mind whenever the thoughts hit me. And I feel like if I'm able to say and put that out into YouTube, it's something physical, it's something tangible in a way. It's not just left out in a conversation and left out as air. So if you made it this far, thank you for listening. And I intend to put out more conversations, more talks about maybe deep, maybe surface level things. It could be a combination. Regardless, let's have a conversation below in the comments. Leave whatever you think is necessary to be able to forward the conversation. And with that, thank you again. Later.